Thinking about buying the Xiaomi Mi AIoT AC2350 router? So was I today. I'm going to save you from a massive headache by revealing the three biggest problems that nobody else is talking about. For the best price, click the link in the description. But here's what surprised me. This router has a ton of hype and specs that look amazing on paper. However, the reality of living with it is a different story. I've been testing it for weeks, and let me tell you, there are some deal-breaking issues you need to know before you spend your money. Therefore, if you want a router that's smart in practice, not just in name, you need to watch this. Okay, let's get the obvious stuff out of the way first. This is the Xiaomi Mi AIoT AC2350, a tri-band router that promises blistering speeds up to 2,402 Mbps on its main 5 GHz band, with a total combined rate of 574 Mbps on 2.4 GHz and 1,775 Mbps on a second 5 GHz band, adding up to that 2350 number. It runs on a powerful Qualcomm IPQ8071A quad-core chip, with a dedicated 1.7 GHz NPU for network acceleration. On paper, it's a beast. It should, in theory, demolish your Wi-Fi problems. But what happens when you take it out of the theory textbook and plug it into your actual house? That's where our story begins, and trust me, it's a plot twist. The first major problem is the elephant in the room, or should I say, the ghost in the machine. The setup. Oh, the setup. Xiaomi wants you to use their Mi Home app for configuration, which sounds convenient. Therefore, you download the app, you go through the steps, you feel like a tech wizard until you hit a wall. The app, for many users outside of certain regions, is a glitchy mess. It might not detect the router. It might get stuck in a loop. It might ask for a login that doesn't exist. I spent 45 minutes trying to befriend this piece of hardware, and let's just say our relationship got off to a rocky start. It's like trying to order coffee in a foreign language and just getting a confused stare back. For a router that's supposed to be AIoT, or artificial intelligence of things, the initial intelligence test is one it frequently fails. So if you're not technically inclined, this could be your first and last step. But wait, let's say you conquer the setup mountain. You've slayed the app dragon. You're finally online. Therefore, you run a speed test right next to the router, and wow, those numbers are fantastic. You're getting your full gigabit internet speed. You're ready to stream 8K, download games in seconds, and have 50 devices connected. This is the dream. However, here comes problem number 2. The signal strength and stability drop off a cliff faster than my New Year's resolutions. Walk into the next room, especially if there's a wall in the way, and that blazing 2,402 Mbps can easily have. Go 2 rooms away, and you're back in the dial-up age, emotionally at least. The range is just not as impressive as the spec sheet wants you to believe. It's like a sports car that only goes fast in a straight line for 100 meters. Fun for a second, but not practical for the daily commute. And this leads us directly into the third and most frustrating issue, the AIoT smart device integration. This is its asterisk feature, asterisk, right? The big selling point. It's supposed to automatically recognize and prioritize Xiaomi smart home devices. Therefore, your smart plugs, cameras, and sensors should get VIP treatment. In reality, it's hit or miss. Sometimes it works. Often, it doesn't recognize non-Xiaomi devices any better than a $50 router would. The promised seamless ecosystem feels more like a loosely affiliated group of devices that sometimes send each other memos. The dedicated AIoT antenna feels like a marketing gimmick that adds more to the price than to your actual user experience. It's a party where the host only talks to their own friends. Let's talk about the physical design for a second. It looks cool, like a futuristic spaceship landed on your desk. But those 4 external antennas, they're not adjustable in angle, only in direction. Therefore, if you need to lay the router flat or place it somewhere specific, you lose optimal antenna positioning. It's a design choice that prioritizes looks over sheer function. And those 3 LAN ports. For a router at this price and capability, only having 3 is a bit stingy in 2023. Most competitors offer 4. It's like buying a fancy car that only has 2 cup holders. You expect more. Now let's check the Amazon rating. It sits at a 4.2, which is decent. But when you dive into the top reviews, a pattern emerges. The positive reviews rave about the speed when close by and the sleek design. The critical ones, they echo our problems: spotty range, buggy software, and the AIoT feature being underwhelming. One reviewer called it a temperamental genius. Another said it was great for a tech hobbyist to tinker with, but a nightmare for their family to use daily. This isn't just my experience. It's a chorus of users singing the same song of mild disappointment. So, who is this router actually for? Therefore, let's get to the resolution. After all these problems, is there any reason to buy the Xiaomi Mi AIoT AC2350? Yes, but only for a very specific person. If you live in a small apartment or studio, where you'll always be close to the router, the raw speed is genuinely impressive. If you are a Xiaomi superfan with a house full of their smart devices, and you enjoy fiddling with settings to potentially make things work, you might find value here. And if you find it on a deep, deep discount, the hardware specs alone can justify the cost for a power user willing to install third-party firmware to unlock its true potential. It's a project car, not a daily driver. For everyone else, for the vast majority of people who just want a router they can set up in 5 minutes, that covers their whole home reliably and works seamlessly without constant babysitting, this is not the one. Your money is better spent on a more user-friendly, consistent system, perhaps a mesh network if you have a larger space. The promise of the Xiaomi Mi AIoT AC2350 is let down by its real-world execution. It's a lesson in not judging a router by its spec sheet. It has the heart of a champion, but the coordination of a newborn giraffe. So, what's the final verdict? Don't buy the Xiaomi Mi AIoT AC2350 if you value simplicity and whole home coverage. Do consider it only if our specific scenarios fit you perfectly. I've done the frustrating testing so you don't have to. And if you've decided this is the challenging router for you, or you want to check its current price, I've left the best Amazon link for you in the description below. Check it out, and may your Wi-Fi signal be ever strong and your setup process forever short.